Welcome to Interviewing the Legends with special guest Jon Anderson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. After months of anticipation, the debut album from Jon Anderson and the Bang Geeks, True, has been released. The 9-song album produced by Jon and Richie Castellano is the album Yes fans worldwide have been waiting for since Jon's departure from the band in 2008. The album's centerpieces are 2 epic tracks, the 16.5-minute Once Upon a Dream and the nearly 10-minute Counties and Countries. To celebrate the release, a video for Counties and Countries recently premiered. The video was created by Jon's longtime videographer, Michael Byrne. Please welcome legendary singer, songwriter, musician, of course, most recognized as the voice of Yes, Jon Anderson, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Jon.
Hey, how you doing there, Ray?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
The album, it's fantastic. Okay. Here's my official review. Now, I've followed you since 1971, so I've heard a lot of Jon Anderson music. Okay.
Right.
True. The new album by Jon Anderson and the Bang Geeks exceeds expectations. I consider it the best album of the year. Poetic songwriting, extraordinary musicians, classic Yes demeanor and vocalizations. Every track is a triumph, a genuine progressive rock masterpiece. 5 stars.
Yeah.
And I really mean that.
Yeah, me too.
It's incredible, man. You did a hell of a job with this. And the Bang Geeks are a great group.
It's a beautiful story. I met them last year. A friend of mine, John Amick, who works at Sirius Radio, sent me a video of the band performing Heart of the Sunrise.
Right.
And I went, wait a minute, it sounds perfect. And they look so happy, you know. So I got in touch with the bass player about a week later and said, hey, you know, would you be interested to go on tour? And he said, is that really Jon Anderson? I said,
yeah.
Yes, it is. So we went on tour last August.
Mm-hmm.
We did 12 shows and epics and classics of Yes. It's just something that I've always wanted to do because it's music that I helped to create and it's part of my life, you know, the 70s anyway. And so at the end of the tour, I said, we should make an album. And Richie, God bless him, said, that would be so cool.
Yeah. Richie's an excellent bass player, man.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Chris Squire. Yeah.
He's also a very good producer. You know, we actually did a lot of the album via Zoom because he lives on the East Coast. I live on the West Coast of America. And we Zoom every other Tuesday or every Tuesday sometimes and just be able to work together as though we're in the same room. You know, it's like very, very modern.
It is. I think most recordings nowadays are kind of made that way.
Sure.
Know? Yeah. The first 2 tracks on the album right away should be radio hits. I was a DJ back in the late 70s. I was a top 40 guy. So I know what should be on the radio. True Messenger and Shine On should be top 40 hits.
Good. I'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, we know top 40 radio is not the same anymore like it used to be.
That's true.
Yeah. But Shine On's got that owner of a lonely heart type flair, you know, that popularity type song, you know, it's excellent. 2 great songs. Like I said before, Richie is an incredible bass player. He does remind me a lot of Chris. And talk about 2 songs I wanted to know about. Build Me an Ocean. Talk about the lyrics on that.
Interesting that what you get into the sort of projection of music at a certain time, and I just said, I do have this one song, "Build Me an Ocean." It's just me and a friend. I wrote it probably 5 years ago with I have to remember his name now. Gosh, but I have the lyrics and everything somewhere, and it was a very spontaneous song. Build me a river for souls to deliver life. Shine here forever to know you are witness. Very, very hymn like a hymn sort of thing. And I just loved it. So I sent it to Richie and said, this is a totally opposite world where we're going at the moment. I think we were halfway through, Counties and Countries, which originally was a very simple song, me playing the guitar, and it became this beautiful, yes, symphonic idea. And I can happily say yes, because I never left yes. I was like thrown to the wind when I got sick. So I just felt that my life was always connected to yes, and I never lost that feeling of wanting to do an album that feels yesism, for want of a better word. And that was happening at that time. And I said, I've also got this very gentle song, "Build Me a River, Build Me an Ocean." I'm glad you like that.
Oh, I love it. Jon, you are yes. I'm sorry, you are yes.
Okay, then.
I don't know who these guys are portraying yes, but they're not yes.
True.
You
Very
know,
true.
and I've had Jeff on the show many a times. He's a nice guy and everything. But,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of
and
course.
Billy Sherwood.
Yeah.
Another song I wanted you to kind of talk about was "Make It Right." I love the lyrics on that one.
Yeah. That was an initial a song that, oh, let this be heaven, you know, this world that we live in, this collective, amazing world we call Earth Mother, could be looked after a bit better.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we were going through this maybe 20, 30 years ago about the deforestation of Brazil and other parts of the world. And slowly but surely, people started to say, yeah, okay, I think we need to look after the trees and the birds and the bees and the flowers and trees. I think there's a song there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, you know, it's just like the way life is, make it right. You know, in this lifetime, you know, can you imagine a worldwide investing, all these business that create the bombs and killing machines and things, if they invested that time and money
Right.
in gardening the world, my
Yeah.
God. So let's be heaven, you know, that's the song.
Exactly. Especially the oceans. It's so sad when you see what they've done to the oceans, you know?
True. It's not getting better. Anyway.
It's not. It's horrible. I'm in Florida, so we, you know, we're very particular about our, you know, and then when that spill, that oil spill happened, oh, it was horrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was you learned about it every day for about a week, and then
yeah, what happened?
You didn't hear anything else.
Where'd it go?
Okay. Exactly. Somewhere.
Yeah. Realization Part 2. I can tell that you are probably a fan of world music.
True.
And I grew up, my mom was Cuban. My father was Syrian. Well, he had his background, Syrian Jew. So, you know, he was, you know, he had to his family had to get out of Syria. But I grew up with that world music, you know, playing in my house. So I really appreciate world music. I heard a little bit of kind of an African sound with Realization Part 2.
Yeah, was it, oh, let this be heaven?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Paul Simon.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Richie sent me to the vocals. I says, Paul Simon, thank you.
And maybe a little Peter Gabriel as well. Who knows?
It's kind of weird because I did an album one time called Zamran, not Zamran, sorry, Toltec.
Right.
And it was based on the writings of Carlos Castaneda. And I went to Central America and then South America. And I actually went on tour with a bunch of people, just doing, I was playing electric saxophone and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Just doing mood and dance music, like hypnotic music. And it went down pretty well. And there is a video around somewhere of me doing that show. And even my eldest daughter was singing in backing vocals. And it was something that I just found about 2 months ago and thought, wow, that show was about 8 years ago, 9 years ago. What was I thinking? I was just having a good time, you know?
I'm waiting for the day you come on stage with an oud, you know, the acoustic, and play an oud.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I could see you doing that.
Oh yeah.
Once Upon a Dream. Oh my gosh. It's 16 minutes and 32 seconds of pure heaven. To me, it sounds like a concept album within a single track. It's an epic song. It's kind of cinematic. And it has, to me, it has shades of Relayer. You know, I can hear that a little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting that I sent Richie the first part, the first 3 minutes was this chant that I did. I have to try and remember the idea of this, the chant was very, it's enough to stick around looking for it. It's enough to challenge it, look around. Once upon a time, you was a da 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 da. And then he went to some music, and then I sang something.
Right.
I just sent him that, and all of a sudden, within a week or so, Richie found a way of getting from that to the next section, which was another song that I'd sent him, and then another song that he remembered. And by the time we were getting to that point where, okay, what do we do now? I always go to the same place, which is like the middle or close to the edge, where it's nothing. We just go breathe a little bit, and then I sent in some choral music, and he had this lady, his ex-wife, who sang some very serene, sort of angelic parts, and I started singing about once upon a time or twice upon a time, you were the angel of your story. These lyrics just pop up, you know.
Wow,
because it was that energy was needed.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, keep going. This can keep going a little bit longer. And then what we need to do is get out of here, sort of thing. So my instinct was the following Tuesday, I just said, you know, the middle of Once Upon a Time, well, it's very dreamlike now. What we need is something to shake it up, and all of a sudden, church organ. You know? And of course, Richie just did what I said.
Oh man!
Wake it up, you know. And it's church organ now, and then the chorus comes back in, and then the verse comes back in, and then the neat thing was Richie started putting the chant that was earlier on in the song right in the middle of that chaos, and it started to open up. So what? That'll do it. It's my wife's favorite song, actually.
I don't know how you guys do it. You know, I mean, it's so intricate, the music, and then you put it with your lyrics, which are also intricate and poetic. It's amazing how you put those two together. You know, I'm amazed.
Well, sometimes you sit in the studio, like I'm in my studio now, and I'm thinking, okay, what we have now, this girl doing the sort of Indonesian chanting thing going on in the middle, and what do I do now? What do I sing now? And then I started saying, once upon a time, you were the angel of your story. And I thought, okay, well, that'll help me to get next stanza, as I would call it.
Right.
And then the next part will come. And then I just said, Richie, now, you know, I actually resumed each other every Tuesday to be able to work on things. And he was just finishing the church organ solo. And I said, oh, that's so right. Well, we were going to cut it. No, don't cut it. That's exactly right. He just needs to go to a Dorian scale at the end.
Right.
Whatever that means, you know. and off he went. The keyboard player was there, Christopher, and he just started playing. I said, that's it. Thank you. That's enough.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to figure out when it is enough, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
because what seemed to happen was I'd sort of mentally said, okay, I think we've got it now. Every day shall be in the eyes of many, to this eternity, everything's going to be okay, shut up. And then all of a sudden, the chant comes in the background, and Richie, bless him, starts playing a guitar solo, which is like classic guitar solo.
It is. Yeah.
And it just seemed to round it all off. And I started singing what we're looking for. We're looking for something. What are we looking for? Waiting for love. And, you know, triple track my voice saying, everybody, we're waiting for love.
Yeah.
That'll get us out of the track.
Yep.
Eventually it did.
And your voice is as good as ever, man. You know?
Yeah.
You don't change.
Lucky, I'm very blessed.
Yeah.
I think a lot to do with meeting with the Bang Geeks and feeling that it's interesting that last year I did a tour with the Academy of Rock, the teenagers.
Right.
We went to Europe, and then afterwards I did a tour with the Bang Geeks, and then Christmas comes, I'm making an album. It's like what a wonderful year, you know.
It's tremendous. The track, thank God. I really hear the emotion in your voice when you're singing this.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm very blessed. I have a wife of 31 years.
Yep.
And that song came halfway through an album that I was doing in Vancouver with Yes at that time. The album was, I can't remember the name, it'll come in a minute. And we had Christmas off and New Year's. So I went to a friend who has a beautiful studio near Nashville. His name's Robin Crow. He's a composer and a producer, and also writes a lot of books about getting your act together, sort of thing. And so I wrote a dozen songs with him. One of them was Thank God, you know.
Beautiful.
And it was like a homage to my wife. And I think it's that kind of a song where I think people who are getting married or something like that will probably want to hear that as they're celebrating, you know.
I've been married 41 years.
Well done. Well done. She must be wonderful.
Yeah, she is. She is. We take care of each other, you know.
That's
and
good.
As a husband, you just say, whatever you want, dear.
Exactly.
Don't argue.
No. No point.
I know. I always see great pictures of you and your wife too together. You guys are very loving.
Yeah. Well, it's remarkable that she saved my life.
That's right.
Basically, and then about a year later, I was out. We were out in Maui, I think, Kauai, and I was out swimming, and I got caught in a rip something, or what do you call?
The riptide, yeah.
Riptide.
Yeah.
I got caught in a riptide, and I came out the other side of the gigantic rollers.
You're kidding me.
Oh. Yeah, and I said goodbye to everybody.
Oh,
to my kids and everything. And then this voice said, just lie on your back. John,
and that worked.
Lie on your back. And I went, oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Within about 10 minutes, I was floating up, and I could see the rollers going, and I went right over it into the coral reef.
Unbelievable. You're so lucky. You're blessed.
Yeah. And I'll never forget that, because at that moment there was a guy on a little sand motorbike, not a motorbike, little sand, little car, whatever they call it, lifesaver guy. And he came running out through the coral, and he sort of grabbed me. He said, are you okay? I said, I'm okay now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Pulled me onto and my wife had been running looking for me, and she found me and everything. And the next day we came to look at the place where it happened, and there was a sign saying, danger, riptides.
Yeah, it wasn't there before, was it?
Why didn't they put that up the day before?
Because you alerted them.
Damn right.
You know, last time we talked, we were both in the hospital. I don't know if you remember, but we talked about our experience that we both cried.
Yeah.
You had an acoustic guitar player or somebody came to your room, and I had a priest come to my room, and
Wow.
you said it's good to cry. It's okay.
Yeah. Thank thank God I'm alive. Thank
Yeah,
God.
me too. I had a bad
Okay.
experience too.
What happened?
I had I had gallbladder taken out, and then it got infected.
Not good.
Oh my God. I almost
Not
died. I almost died. I
You're
was on
here.
yeah, I was on transfusions for 3 months after that.
Cool.
It
But
was
you're okay
bad.
now. You're okay.
I'm
You
okay
look good.
now. I'm
You're
okay now.
happening. All is good, and you got your t-shirt.
Yep. There you go. But I interviewed Chris Squire after that, and I got a little mad at him at what he did to you.
No, no. You know that he came to visit me when he passed away?
Oh, he did. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
that same time that we were in Kauai. No,
Oh
we
man.
actually went to Maui,
Right.
and then I had a dream that basically the dream was a lot of people like backstage sort of thing,
Hmm.
and I looked to one side. There was a woman standing there looking up, who looked very serene and everything. So I looked up, and there's Chris looking up, and tears coming down.
Uh,
I woke up, and I woke up Jane. I said, Jane, I think I've just seen Chris in heaven.
oh my
And
goodness.
lo and behold, he died that night.
Oh wow.
And then we met his wife. I'll remember her name in a minute. She came to a show that we did in Phoenix
Hmm.
about 6 months later. Her name is Scotland. And I told her the story. She grabbed me and said, you know, that's what he was saying the day before he wanted to go to Maui. And then he passed away. I said,
Wow.
oh, he actually got there. Don't worry.
Oh gosh. You know,
And
I interviewed him, and he was in Hawaii when I interviewed him. He was on getting some R&R, I guess. You know, it
yeah,
was in
yeah.
between. Huh.
Hey, you know, we all have different lifespans, events
Yeah.
in life that are mystical and
Yeah.
magical, you know. So, you know, Chris was a crazy, wild guy. He had insomnia. He was an insomniac.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had to party.
They call him the fish, right?
That's right, because he always in the bath. Well, it came from a song we did years and years ago with Yes, and it was this chant,
Hmm.
da, 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 in his bass solo, and we did this vocal, and I found out that it was the tiniest fish in the world, and it's got such a long name. So I sang sort of thing.
And of course, his solo album was Fish Out of Water, which was a
Good,
great album,
very
incredible.
good album, very good.
I told him he should have done Fish Out of Water 2, and he just laughed at me.
Yeah, it would. It would.
You know who I had on the show? I had one of your old bandmates, Brian Chatton.
Brian,
Yeah, he was on the show. Yeah,
funniest guy. He's just a funny,
really nice
chaotic,
guy. Really nice
chaotic,
guy.
funny guy. Well, you know
Yeah,
that we did an album called 1,000 Hands. You know the story of that?
I do. And I was going to ask you about that because there's number 2. You are working with Michael Franklin, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with that? I know Michael. Michael's been on the show a lot of times.
Yeah, he's good. A very
Yeah.
talented guy. And we've got all the music done, but just need to tweak everything for next year or something like that. I don't know when.
Okay. I've
But
referred John McLaughlin to you guys to play on the album.
Michael found everybody.
Well, he asked me, and I got him John McLaughlin because I interviewed John.
John McLaughlin, my
That was
God.
me.
I remember seeing with Chris, we were doing a show. We did 3 or 4 shows with the Kinks. One in New York, and so we're on stage, and Ray Davis said to me, "Anderson, yeah, you've got 50 minutes, all right, only 50 minutes." And I said, "Okay, Ray, have a good one, you know." So come like 5 minutes before the end of the 50 minutes, I look at Chris and say, we were going down great. The audience was really digging Yes, you know. And I looked at Chris, I said, let's do Yours Is No Disgrace. And Chris said, but it's a bit long. I said, don't worry. So we started doing Yours Is No Disgrace, which is 7-8 minutes long.
Right.
And after 5 minutes, we're playing away, Yours Is No Disgrace. And all the equipment went off.
Oh, no.
I looked to one side of the stage and there's Ray Davies with the plug saying, I fucking told you, 50 minutes.
Oh, man, what a wise guy.
Anyway, the next gig was a gig up in New York State. I can't remember, it was a university. And so we're getting ready to go and do a sound check. And there's a band who's opening up for us and they're called Mahavishnu Orchestra. And I'm thinking, who are these? And Steve said, yeah, it's John McLaughlin's band. And I said, okay. So me and Chris stood while they did a sound check.
Right.
I looked at Chris and said, we got to rehearse more. Because these guys are amazing. And they were.
Yeah. They're a good
Mahavishnu
band.
Orchestra, man. Within 3 months, they were headlining around the world.
Yeah. I had Billy on the show, Billy Cobham, a couple of times.
Billy!
Yeah, he's another good guy.
He played on my 1,000 Hands album.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that guy. He actually had a band touring, and he was the main guy, and he had a band, and they were playing in Paris, and I went to see them, and I stood behind him with a tambourine. He let me play tambourine behind him. Billy Cobham! Yes.
Billy Cobham. I had Jan Hammer on the show, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I've had everybody on.
Hey!
I've had everybody from Yes, including Alan and Wakeman as well. Wakeman's so funny, by the way. I never had Steve Howe. He's the only guy. Yeah,
he's a quiet guy, Steve.
Yeah.
But Rick's famous joke, because I was touring with him and Trevor Rabin, and he kept telling me the same joke every 3 days. He said, did I tell you that joke about, people who live in Dubai, they never watch the Flintstones? And I said, true. And he said, yeah, but people in Abu Dhabi do.
That's funny. That is funny, though.
That's a good one, man.
It is a good one. He's a funny guy. I mean, his speech at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we talked about that.
It saved the day for me because I'd lost it. I was overly excited.
Well, the tour begins again September 11th. You'll be at the Cabot Theater. Then you're going to be in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and New York again, Staten Island.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Be fun. Return of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I guess that's with a few dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Palmer, we started off together. He was in.
That's right.
Working with Keith Emerson, with Nice. When in London in the Marquee Club, and we'd be on Tuesday and they'd be on Wednesday, and you two would be on Friday. It's like so many musicians went through that
Marquee Club.
Marquee Club, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, I want to say very special thanks to the great Billy James. I've known Billy now for about 11 years or so.
Best. He's not too well.
I know. I heard.
I'm praying for him all the time.
Me too. I feel so bad. He's such a great guy.
He is a beautiful soul.
I want to thank him for arranging this interview. And John, on a personal note, you have been an inspiration to me. Your profound music and benevolence has elevated my spirits through dark and happier times. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, John. Good luck. How's your brother, by the way? How's he doing?
My brother went up there or sideways over there.
Where?
My Stuart. Yeah, my brother Stuart.
He passed away?
Yes, he did.
The priest?
No, that's Tony. He's still around.
Okay, okay.
Don't worry. Well done.
Tony's doing okay?
Yes, he's a happy guy singing to his flock.
Okay, awesome. I always thought you would make a great priest.
Me? No.
No?
I love the wine too much.
That's okay. Thank you, John.
Wish you well. Thank you.
You too, man. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for watching Interviewing the Legends.